Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and absolutely master regulation best interest. If you're gearing up for the Series 7, this is a massive, highly testable topic. You've got to know it inside and out. We aren't just going to sit here and memorize dry definitions today, right? We're going to figure out exactly how the SEC's rules completely changed the game for broker-dealers, how it compares to good old FINRA suitability, and exactly where the exam is going to try to trip you up.
Real quick though, this explainer is brought to you by CertFuel. They've got an amazing, full Series 7 course, packed with adaptive study quizzes, smart flashcards, and unlimited practice exams that are weighted exactly like the real thing. It's literally built to help this stuff stick in your brain, so go check them out at certfuel.com. All right, let's get to the rules.
Section 1. Meet the clients. Who gets what? To make this really stick, we're going to learn these rules through our recurring characters. Picture them in your head right now. First, we've got Riley the rep. He's our broker, always looking to make some trades and earn a little commission. Then we've got Carla the customer. She's just an everyday person trying to invest her hard-earned savings. And finally, there's Pete, the pension fund. Pete represents a massive, multi-million-dollar entity.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the hard dividing line the SEC draws between our two clients. Riley has to treat them completely differently. Regulation best interest, or Reg BI, strictly applies to retail customers, like Carla. A retail customer is a natural person who uses recommendations for personal, family, or household purposes. FINRA suitability, on the other hand, is your baseline standard. That applies to institutional investors, like Pete the pension fund.
Okay, pause the explainer. I really want you to think about this for a second before we move forward. Did the SEC's shiny new Reg BI completely replace the old FINRA suitability rule? Lock in your guess.
Do not fall for this trap on the test. The answer is a massive no. Reg BI absolutely does not replace suitability. It layers right on top of it for retail clients. Suitability still applies to everybody. Think of FINRA suitability as the concrete foundation of a house. Every single customer stands on it. But for retail customers, like Carla, Reg BI builds a whole second floor of protections right on top of that foundation.
And that jump in standards is huge. Under standard suitability for Pete the pension fund, Riley really just has to make sure a product is appropriate. But for Carla, Reg BI steps in and forces Riley to look at costs. He has to compare available alternatives, and it explicitly bans him from putting his own firm's interests ahead of hers. The bar is significantly higher.
Section 2. The 4 component obligations. So, the natural question is, how does Riley actually prove he's acting in Carla's best interest? He can't just swear he's a good guy, right? There are incredibly strict rules he has to follow.
Specifically, he has to satisfy these 4 component obligations: disclosure, care, conflict of interest, and compliance. Notice that disclosure and conflict of interest are pillars completely unique to Reg BI. They literally have no direct parallel in the standard FINRA suitability rules. Riley's firm needs specific, tailor-made policies just to handle them.
But here is a massive exam trap. The test absolutely loves this detail. If it isn't in writing, it didn't happen. Every single one of these 4 pillars requires written documentation. You need written disclosure, documented diligence for care, and written policies and procedures for conflicts and compliance. A quick verbal warning to Carla doesn't count. You definitely want to write that down.
Let's test your memory again. Part of that disclosure obligation is giving Carla a Form CRS, which stands for Customer Relationship Summary. Pause the explainer right now and tell me, what is the absolute maximum number of pages Riley's broker-dealer is allowed to use for this form?
That's right, a massive number 2. Form CRS maxes out at 2 pages for a broker-dealer. Why? Because it's intentionally kept incredibly brief, so retail clients like Carla will actually read the thing. If it were some 50-page legal packet, she'd toss it straight in the trash. The SEC wants her to see the fees, the services, and the conflicts of interest clearly, quickly, and upfront.
And timing is literally everything here. Riley cannot wait until after the trade settles to casually slide this paper across the desk. He must deliver this 2-page document to Carla before or right at the exact moment he makes a recommendation, places an order, or opens her account. Whichever one of those happens first, boom, that's the deadline.
Section 3. Deep dive, the care obligation. Let's move to the absolute trickiest of the 4 rules and see how the care obligation takes those old suitability standards to the next level. Because this is where Riley's job actually changes on a day-to-day basis.
The care obligation takes basic suitability and slaps on two massive hurdles. First, cost comparison. Riley has to look at reasonably available alternatives. Second, no firm first. A strict, zero-tolerance ban on putting his broker-dealer's interests ahead of Carla's. Let's use a totally absurd example to make this stick in your brain.
Imagine Riley tries to sell Carla this completely ridiculous, solid gold, diamond-encrusted mutual fund with a massive 10% expense ratio. Now, technically, it invests in the exact sectors Carla wants, so it technically fits her profile. But sitting right next to it is a completely identical vanilla index fund that charges a tiny 0.5% expense ratio. Under Reg BI, Riley is legally forced to consider that cheaper alternative.
Okay, pause one more time. Does Riley have any wiggle room here at all? Can he recommend that solid gold fund just because it pays him a huge fat commission to buy his new jet ski, assuming it technically meets her investment profile? Absolutely not. No way. The crucial point here is that suitable is no longer enough for retail clients. Suitable is necessary, sure, but it is not sufficient. Riley's recommendation must literally be the best option for Carla's wallet, completely ignoring his own commission and his firm's profit. That vanilla index fund is the only right answer for Carla under Reg BI. Section 4. Rapid Fire Exam Recap. All right, we have covered a ton of ground. Let's lock this in with a rapid-fire recap of the absolute most testable facts from this entire explainer. These are the bullet points you need permanently etched into your brain for exam day.
First, Regulation Best Interest exclusively applies to natural persons using recommendations for personal, family, or household purposes. If it's a retail customer, like our friend Carla, Reg BI is activated.
Remember the number 4. That is the total number of component obligations: disclosure, care, conflict of interest, and compliance. And don't forget the trap. Every single one of those 4 must be documented in writing.
If the test asks you about Pete the pension fund, or a massive corporation, or a bank, immediately cross out Reg BI in your head. For institutional clients, you apply the standard FINRA suitability rule. Do not mix those two up. And finally, never ever forget that unlike standard suitability, Reg BI explicitly forces the rep to compare costs among reasonably available alternatives. If there is a cheaper vanilla fund that does the exact same job as the solid gold fund, Riley absolutely has to consider it.
You've got the rules, you know the exam traps, and you've got the absurd case studies to remember exactly how that care obligation works. So, are you ready to crush these Reg BI questions on the Series 7? Take this knowledge and completely dominate that exam. But here's a thought to leave you with. As these SC rules get stricter and stricter to protect retail clients, will we eventually see the death of the commission-based broker model entirely in favor of flat fees? Something to ponder as you study. Keep grinding, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.